Well, good afternoon, metalheads and rockers.
Afternoon.
As you know, I'm Al Ditton. I'm with Underground Noise Webzine. This is webisode number 115. I would highly suggest and encourage you guys to subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Comment, like, share it, all that good shit. Well, anyway, today's guest is Swamp Tooth. I got Matt Ludwig, and I forgot the other dude's name.
Chris Hellion.
Chris Hellion.
And I'm here with Chris Hellion. Welcome, guys. How you doing today?
Doing great.
Starting early.
Rock and rolling.
Hey, that's awesome, dude. As you can see, I'm wearing your shirt.
Awesome.
It's looking good.
Yeah, your CD right there, Gator Infestation.
Hell yeah.
You know, I was listening to this like last week and I gave it a really good listen. I said to myself, they sound a little bit like death metal, doom, stoner rock, and a touch of groove.
Exactly.
That's the idea.
Trying to do something a little different, you know?
Yeah, I mean, who came up with the band name? That's my first question.
The band name originally came me and the original drummer. And it was a joke at first. I wasn't really like, because we're big fans of Pantera. And we used to drink a lot of Black Tooth and joke with that. And one day he said, man, it would be cool to name it Swamp Tooth. And I'm like, at first I was like, I don't know, because I was going to name the band Venomous Fangs. But then I'm like, let's give it a try. And that's how the name came up. And we got stuck with it. And I'm like, hey, sounds pretty good. Back then, the music was a little bit different. It wasn't, it was more 70s rock, unbelievably. And then we, it changed to what we're doing now. But that's how the name came up. Yep.
It's a really catchy name. And it was really cool because I was explaining to someone that I live with. I was like, dude, check out how cool that logo is. If you turn it upside down, it kind of looks like horns.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know if you guys had noticed that or not, but I was
but if you see it from a distance, it's actually a moccasin. It's supposed to be a snake and the fangs. That's what the artist that drew it came up with it.
Originally, when he was doing the sketch, you could see it in the background, like, oh, that's cool as shit.
Yeah, I can actually see that right now. I'm looking at it like, yeah, that does look a little bit like a cobra, you know?
Yeah.
It's funny because, like I was telling you guys, when you turned it upside down, it just looks like horns, you know?
Just like Deal logo, you turn it upside down, it says devil.
Hey, sometimes those things happen.
That's right. I forgot about that.
What I would like to ask you guys is, what song did you find to be your favorite that you came up with for this little demo? My favorite actually is the title track, Gator Infestation.
Out of those three, me personally, I gravitate towards Gator Infestation as well.
Gator Infestation.
You know, it's just strong. Once we go into it, it's like it just has a good doomy vibe to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody has their favorites, you know, but the general consensus between those three songs, from what I hear, is definitely Gator Infestation.
Yeah, Gator Infestation for sure. I was pissed when I wrote that rap. I was angry because the project would just not fly. Like I said, we were coming out with something different. I was so angry. I turned the guitar down. I'm like, fuck this shit. We're going Crowbar style.
Yeah, I did hear a little bit of a Crowbar influence. You know, really surprised.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, the growls kind of remind me of like Chris Barnes when he was in Cannibal Corpse, way before he had left the band and started 6 Feet Under. But you know, I kind of feel bad for Chris nowadays. His voice ain't really all there anymore.
Yeah.
But hey, he's still doing his thing. I can't.
Oh yeah, I love it. I mean, I'm a fan of everything he has done. So,
what's interesting with Chris's vocals though is on the 3-song EP, he obviously hits, like you said, there's death metal influences, black metal influences, and you can hear that in the vocals. Musically, there's doom influences, of course, but vocals, you know, you hear death metal influences and black metal influences. And on the newer songs we're doing, we're about 2 songs done from a full-length album. we're hoping another 2 or 3 months that'll be finished, you know.
Yeah.
Really it's just knocking these last 2 songs out, and then the mixing process starts, you know. That's a laborious task, you know. But the vocals on the newer songs, he's delving more into adding the black metal influences, which you could hear on like Swarm of Moccasins and you know, Symptoms of a Venomation and that. So it's very interesting to me, you know.
There's so much influence.
Since he's playing guitar and on vocals, and I'm just playing guitar. So I mean, it's interesting seeing how the songs start off, and then the finished product ends up so different from what you originally envisioned, you know. And you know, I'm just proud of what the 4 of us have been doing. I'm excited to get this full length out. You know, we've been very careful about what we're letting people hear. I mean, we have one song the only time anybody's heard it, we played it live, which is kind of like a throwing a dart blindfolded. You don't know how it's gonna go because no one's heard it. But at the same time, we're a fairly new band, so I mean, we can pretty much play whatever we want, and you know, unless somebody's like really studying our songs, they're not gonna be even aware of what we're doing. So, you know, we took a chance and played a unheard of song live, and I feel like it went over well. You know, so this full length, you know, I can't wait. You know, I can't wait.
Me too. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
That's really great, you guys. I'm proud of you guys. Keep up the excellent work.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You got my support the whole way. I was going to ask you guys as well, what's your local music scene like? I know there's a lot of bands there in Tampa, like Monstrosity, Deicide, Obituary, to name a few. Are there any other underground bands that I should know about?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, yeah, they're underground. I recommend checking out Promethean Horde. They just opened for Obituary. Jesse Jolly and Nick Goodyear. There's some good friends of ours. They're also in Passive Possession with Corpse Grinder. I mean, they're some of the hardest working dudes. You know, we got
Corrupted Saint.
I mean, there's some young dudes that just, I mean, they're ferocious, man. And we'll be doing shots, and then they'll go on stage drunk, and it's like, and they don't make mistakes. It's just you know, Jeremy Kling, Inhuman Condition. They're somewhat local.
Scorch.
I love Scorch. Those are some young guys as well.
Old school.
I mean, the scene here is very strong, which is interesting. I love it. You know, got to give a shout out to Brian Bridgman and Johnny Knuckles.
Yeah.
Brett McCoy, the Florida death metal scene, FDMS. I mean, they're really putting in overtime, promoting and organizing shows. In my opinion, they're the glue that, you know, keeps the area death metal. But that's the thing, you know, being that we're in the death metal capital of the world.
Yeah,
man, we really had to put in some overtime to find the drummer that doesn't play death metal.
So is the drummer.
We love death metal, don't get us wrong, but if you listen to our songs, it's not a whole lot of blast beats, a whole not a lot of double bass. I mean, we were really looking for somebody that played in the pocket but behind the beat. And
Black Sabbath,
you know,
style
we got Mike Kramer now, and he's like a natural fit for what we're doing. So I mean, that was the hardest thing in Tampa, finding a drummer that.
And I'm pretty sure around the world, everyone is like the drummer,
right? You know, finding a drummer is not easy, and you know, I got to give it up to all the drummers that we played with prior to finding Mike. You know, they all have their strengths, you know, but there's a lot of drummers here that we're just great friends with.
We're just like Spinal Tap,
but they don't fit with what we were doing. So it's ironic, man. We had a drummer, and we actually broke him. He's over here playing, and he hit his finger on the snare and broke his finger to the extent that he had to get 2 pins in his finger.
Crazy.
And we had a show lined up 20 days after this.
I was like,
So it was like, shit. So we got Mike. He said, you guys put me under a lot of pressure. I said, I'm aware.
2 weeks, right? Only?
It was 20 days.
So
And then we played a show and it went off without a hitch. So
he did an amazing job.
you know, I gotta commend Tim.
Yeah.
If he's listening.
He's our guy. You're not going anywhere.
Nothing wrong with giving shout outs. I was just about to ask you guys if there were any shout outs you would like to throw out there. I'm going to give one to Lee Harrison from Monstrosity and Terrorizer, my boy Lee.
Absolutely. Check out our Symptoms of Envenomation video.
Oh, yeah.
He capped it off at the end. That's him pointing at the camera. We gotta give a shout out to our bassist, Darren Peterson.
Darren.
He recently relocated here from Colorado. We were recording a lot of these new songs via email, and we're all using different DAWs, you know. So it was a process, and I mean, we recorded quite a few songs via email, and he's here now, and
he drove from Colorado to
on a Harley.
On a Harley, yeah. We got videos of that. That's fucking awesome.
Nothing wrong with having a hog, you know.
So it's been a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harleys are definitely one of the best motorcycles out there, I believe, besides, you know, choppers and Indian bikes.
Right, the Indians, remember them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna let my listeners know before we started this interview. I was talking about Matt's Led Zeppelin shirt, and they're going to see ZZ Top tonight. I bet you guys are excited about that.
Skinner. Yes, I'm actually more excited about ZZ Top. I mean, Dusty's not with them, so
rest in peace.
I kind of want to see how like Tush and all them songs go that he sang. Hopefully they play them, but I'm fortunate to have seen them, the three original members, a few years back, you know. And Billy Gibbons is still here, so yeah. I'll take.
Gotta cash it, man. You don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Or here's our road. Gotta do it.
And Skinner, even though there's no more original members, I believe they should have Artemis in the band, but it is what it is. It's still gonna be emotional watching him play these.
But I'm a big fan of the guitarist who's playing Blackfoot. What is it? I keep forgetting his name. The one with the Explorer.
Oh, so he's in Skinner now?
Yeah, he's been in Skinner for a lot. Actually, he played drums. They consider him like an original member. He's not original, but he did play drums here and there. But he's a guitar player now. He's from Blackfoot.
No shit.
He's one of my favorite guitar players. Yeah, it's awesome. I forgot his name. Shame on me. God damn.
You guys have fun out there today and stay safe.
Oh, we will.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
How did the band meet? That's my next question. Like, how did the band get together?
Well, actually, Chris and Darren knew each other previously. They were in another band.
On Green Reality.
So they had history.
Yeah.
When I met Chris, I'm at the Brass Mug here in Tampa. It's like, you know, the Brass Mug is a venue that I heard of as a teenager living 1,300 miles away.
The spot.
So now I'm like super good friends with the owners, and, you know, like I live 10 minutes away. So I'm sitting there, me and my wife sitting there one night. They got a little box with like a stripper pole that people sit on and watch shows. So I'm sitting there, and Chris is in another band called Three Knuckles Deep, where they're playing like slam death metal. And see, that's what differentiates Swamp Tooth, you know. Like, there's no conflict because we're playing totally different genres, you know. Like if he would approach me and been like, hey, you want to play in a slam death metal band? I would have been like, no, because you're already doing that. But so anyways, so I'm looking on stage, and he got this really cool guitar, and I went up and I fist bumped him. That's how we met, you know. And so we were just you know, we were friends for a few years, and just sitting around drinking one day, and like, you know, after a late night show,
like
I think he crashed at my house or some shit in the guest room, and you know, we were playing, and he just hit me up. He's like, hey, you want to jam sometime? And I was like, sure. So he was like, we could just jam, or you can check out this Swamp Tooth shit that I've been working on, you know. And it was still like the very early stages. Like he had some instrumental demos and shit, and he's playing it for me, and I'm like, that's cool, man. I said, that's a similar style to what I grew up playing, you know, like it ain't like a foreign style to me or anything. So we started jamming and shit just started happening super quick after that. Like we just clicked, you know.
It just makes sense because we were hanging out and we love the same band, the same music. We're cracking down. We were listening to I Hate God, Crowbar, and you know, we get drunk. We listen to Molly Crew. So you know, there's a lot of stuff that we listen to. It just, and I'm like looking at him like, where you been all this time? Fuck, you gotta play with me. That's it. It was right there. That's the answer. You know, like it just, and man, since there is like, it just awesome. You know, this chemistry. That was a word I was looking for. Chemistry.
That's
There's
really
only so many people you can watch Motley Crue videos.
At
with
6
that
a.m.
4
drunk as
a.m.
fuck. That's our thing. Oh, 6 a.m. we're drunk. Let's put Motley Crue. A big Motley Crue
all I
fan.
can say is I take so much glam metal, then after a while I gotta bust out the hairspray. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't.
We love glam metal.
I was gonna say I'll trade heads with you. I'll go bald for a day. You know. Then you can have all this hair and then the bald spot on the top to match. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's kind of like how I started my band called Nightmare Crypt. It's just the two of us. It's me and a guy from Colorado as well.
Okay.
And he's doing the bass and the drums and the mixing and the mastering and some of the vocals. But with myself personally, I'm doing guitar, vocals, and lyrics. And we're going to be releasing a demo pretty soon.
Make sure I get it.
Oh, I'll sign it for you too.
Hell yeah, appreciate it.
Just like Al Ditton was here or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
Or I could put on it. I forgot what I was going to write or say.
And then sign it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it because it's going to have 4 songs. 3 of the songs are going to be on the full length, and one of them's going to be on a later album.
No kidding. Hell yeah.
Yep, that's just how I do it. You know, you got it. When it comes to writing music, I mean, how long does it usually take you guys to complete a song? Because with me personally, I could bang one out within like say about an hour at the most.
Ironically, the last one we're working on, it has taking a bit. I guess because not that we run out of ideas, it's just like, I don't know. It's
Life.
Just life, of course, but sometimes it's just the moment. I'll be at work, just like grabbing ideas, like because I listen to music when I work and doing my cakes, and I'll be writing lyrics and shit. Then I'll come home, maybe I'm pissed, I'm angry at the sun or the traffic, and I jing whatever. I'll come up with this shit. Okay, cool, whatever. And then I'll send it back to him. It's like cool. Then he'll send it back with something else, and sometimes it's 1 day, sometimes 2 days, maybe it's a week. Hell, this one is like a month. So it just depends.
But I gotta say, Chris is one of the fastest working people I know. Like when he's on a kick, he's just throwing me songs. I'm like, damn, I gotta get to writing
Sometimes
something.
I
I
just
ain't
wake
gonna
up at
have
5
no songs
a.m.
on this album, you know?
5 a.m. I'll work. Fuck, coffee, gotta work. Yeah. And I grab the guitar and I'm like, yeah. Sometimes I'm like, no, I just gotta go to work. It's just, but when I was doing the EP, I was pretty pissed. So that was just super fast. I was sending him back and forward, like, oh shit. And then the first songs in the soon to be our full length, it was just like that. I was angry, and yeah, anger helps in music, especially fucking metal. So I get it when D. Snyder said, I can't write music anymore. I'm not angry. I get it.
Well, I do have to say, when I said we have 2 songs left, one, he's done. He already did his parts. I got to record my parts, send them to Darren. That song's done. So really, technically, we only have 1 more song to write.
Yes,
but the reason it's taken so long is because I said to Chris early on, I said, the full lengths, I said, let's try and have as many different, I don't know if I should say influences on the first full lengths. Because, I mean, look how many bands alienated their audience by being like, they changed. They don't do this no more. They don't do that no more. I said, let's get all that out of the way. And on the first album, have just a wide array of styles.
Yeah.
So
still sounds like Swamp Tooth. It's not like every song it's like a different band, but it's just the influence is there.
So trying the song we're working on now, you know, we'll have a Judas Priest riff. Then we'll have like a punk rock Motorhead riff. I mean, we're really going everywhere with this last song.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to lose the Swamp Tooth feel doing that. So that's why this last song's taking a little bit. Yeah. But we haven't really we've been so busy lately. Once we dive into this last song, we'll be done with this album in like 2 or 3 months.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I'll make sure you get a copy.
Hopefully no
Awesome.
hurricanes.
Sounds really cool. Well, my next question for you guys is, what do you do for work outside the job? I heard you like to work with cakes.
Yeah. Also a stripper at 3 a.m. I'm joking.
I work in a warehouse in the heat, no AC. So sometimes you get home, it's just, I mean, we're in Florida, you know, it's hot. It's hot. It wears you down, you know.
Well, Chris, I was about to say, if you're doing that at 3 o'clock, there's like hardly anybody there except for the barmaids and bartenders.
Yeah, it's 24-hour thing. Rachel's. I'm joking.
Yeah, don't let any Karens in. No
Rachel's
Karens allowed.
Just free promotion. They're awesome. Go visit.
That's hilarious.
That's my church.
Where do you guys see yourselves in the next 5 years?
Easy. Rocking till we drop.
hopefully like 4 or 5 more albums deep. Still in control.
More gray hair, more
You know?
guitars. Liver transplant? No, hopefully not, but
That's funny you mentioned more gray hair, Chris. I've got you beat, man. These are all my white hairs.
a little bit more gray hair. Looks awesome. Just like today's guitarist friend. I forgot his name. Anyone out there knows the fucking name of the guitar player from Leonard Skinner? Forgot. Shame on me. Anyway.
I've been told by a few people that I need just for men. And I'm just like, yeah, I know what you need. You need just for fuck you.
Totally embrace it.
Yeah.
I'm like, leave my wisdom hairs alone.
The grayer the hair, the better the riffs.
I mean, God help me earn these things, so I might as well just keep on going with it. You know what I'm saying?
That's an honor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a sign of being distinguished, and so many people have to
It means wisdom.
screw around with it. You know?
That's why I told my wife when my head turns gray, I might have to just grow it out and George Clooney it.
Do a skull. Do a skull it.
Hey, let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Well, I got a few minutes left here with you guys. Unless you want more time, we could always go to part 2.
And with these beers, we can be here 5 hours. I'm joking.
I know, but you guys would miss your ZZ Top show with Leonard
Yeah.
Skinner. So
Yeah, excited.
I didn't want you guys missing out on something special like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, that's an awesome lineup, you know. I mean, how could we not go?
That's right.
No brainer, man. You don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Gotta catch our heroes.
Well, don't forget how Lizzie Borden once put it, tomorrow never comes.
Exactly. Mhm.
That's a good song, too.
Yeah.
What
What would you guys like to say to your fans out there that might be listening?
Check us out at www.swamptooth.org. And those are the links to our YouTube channel, all streaming services.
Everything's there so far, yeah. Merch.
There's some merch. Not the cool shirt you're wearing, you know, that's
Yeah, that was for one
in
show.
person only. So come check us out live if you want one of those shirts. In 2 or 3 months, you know, we should have this full length done. Hit us up, man. You know, I would like to get it on vinyl. I'm a vinyl fan.
Me too.
Vinyl
addict.
Gotta shop around for a good deal, you know, for vinyl. We have some ideas, you know, been throwing some darts out there, seeing if they stick, you know, but vinyl's pricey.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
It's my goal.
Yeah, I was about to ask you guys about vinyl. How do you guys feel about vinyl making a comeback?
The best is
cassette tapes.
I see it like the savior of music because we're having all this, you know, streaming is good, but you know how it goes with certain streaming formats, and I gotta mention their names. But I feel like even cassettes, especially in the metal world, of course, not in the other pop and all that, but in the rock and roll world, people are collectors. So people see a vinyl or a cassette, they want to buy it. I'll see it, I'm like, fuck, I need to buy it. So that helps a lot. And it just come back. I hope it stays for a really long time. And I just love vinyl. I'm at it. It's just an addiction. Just fucking watching the artwork, listening to it, smelling it, the booklet and shit, reading the lyrics. It's just like a spiritual kind of thing. So I hope it stays for a really long time. Vinyl is the savior of music, in my opinion.
And you know, I mean, I always tell people I listen to everything, but if you get albums that were recorded prior to 1994 when Pro Tools came out, it was analog.
Yeah.
Analog sounds way
For
better
sure.
on vinyl.
Yep.
You know, now I do get modern releases after Pro Tools came out, you know, digital format. It doesn't sound as warm, but depending on the band, I still get it, you know. Like I have Emperor on vinyl that they remastered it at Abbey Road Studios. I mean, it just sounds phenomenal. You know what I mean? I mean, I always loved Anthems to the Welkin at Dusk, but you know, the mix, it was always like, I like the 9 Equilibrium album better, production wise and mix wise. But when this Anthems to the Welkin at Dusk, the Abbey Roads half speed vinyl came out, it was like, this is the way this is always supposed to sound, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, just a super big fan of analog. And, you know, I mean, look what Witchcraft did with their, I mean, I love their self-titled debut. You know, I mean, I heard a story how Phil Anselmo is at Paul Booth's studio getting a tattoo done, and he hears this music and he's thinking it's something from the 70s, and he asked Paul Booth's wife, he's like, who is this? And she was like, Witchcraft. So he flew home from New York, went to Louisiana. He's pounding on Pepper's door at like 3 a.m. and Pepper's like, what do you want? And Phil's like, you got to check out this band, you know?
True story.
Now Witchcraft, they got that sound because they used all this old 1970s analog equipment, you know, and I mean, the proof is in the pudding, you know. It came out like what, 2003 or something?
Yeah, around that.
But it sounds like it's a 1970s album, you know. I want to say Brian from the band The Dude, DOOD, it stands for the Distinguished Order of Disobedience. They're a band from Sarasota. Brian had a mixing console that at one time belonged to AC/DC.
Yeah.
And it went from AC/DC to remember that band Firehouse? They wanted Brian to be their bass player back in the day. So Brian, yeah, Brian was getting rid of this huge, I mean, it's heavy. You know, he was getting rid of it was AC/DC's mixing console. He's like, do you want it? I want it to stay in Florida. He's like, I'll give it to you if you promise that it'll stay in Florida. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. He's like,
small world.
He said, you're good with electronics, so it's only working mono now. If you can figure out why it's not working stereo, you know, it'll be in stereo. So I don't have, in this house, you know, I'm just renting right now where the market's a little messed up. But when we do buy a house, I'm going to have a full functional demo studio in my garage. I would like to hook up this this mixing console, analog mixing console, and that's known for its preamps, and maybe record some Swamp Tooth on that, and having some of that old school
our own bar too
with some modern music. Of course.
You know, another thing that I forgot to mention was that you guys have a little sludge influence to your music.
Hell yeah,
absolutely.
It reminds me of Neurosis in a way, you know, Through Silver and Blood or something like that. I think it's the
Neurosis. I love that album. Yeah,
I have that on CD, and it's funny because I
was listening to that at work. I love that fucking album. I forgot about that album. I discovered them, and I had the Oxford 96 and VHS. And I remember watching the Rosses and the guy hitting the keyboard. I'm like, holy shit. And the guy that was singing, I think, it was the bass. No, it wasn't the bass player. The bass player looked so crazy. It was the other guitar player. I thought it was Henry Rollins. It's not him, but it looked a little bit like Henry Rollins in that video. If you haven't, if anyone out there haven't seen it, look for it. I thought it was Henry Rollins, but no.
It's funny that you mentioned Henry Rollins, because I seen Henry Rollins in a movie not too long ago, and it also has Jason Mewes in it.
Okay.
I don't remember the name of the movie right off the top of my head, but it was rather cheesy, but it was funny at the same time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
For being one of those horror movies, but it wasn't really horrific. It was more hilarious than anything.
Henry Rollins was in Sons of Anarchy. I'm like, that's Henry Rollins? Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he makes a lot of appearances and stuff, kind of like Rob Halford when he played in the movie Spun as the porn.
Yeah, I remember that. That was crazy. It's the porn shop thing. Yeah, I remember that one.
I wouldn't, man. Henry Rollins, he's coming around doing one of his speaking tours. I wouldn't mind going to that, man.
I love seeing talk. He's awesome. I love.
He has stories, man. I got like 10 Henry Rollins books out there. I mean, Get in the Van's the best. You know, like seeing how he came up with Black Flag and stuff. I mean, just awesome. I mean, the he's just a great orator. You know,
He's awesome. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely something.
it sucks that he's disillusioned with music, man, because even the Rollins band was awesome, you know.
I liked it, yeah.
I like the album Come In and Burn with the song called On the Way to the Cage or On My Way to the Cage, whatever it's called. That's
What
one
album?
of my favorites.
What album did you say?
The album's called Come In and Burn.
Okay.
Yeah, that album right there is definitely my favorite Rollins band album of all time. Besides the album Wait.
Yeah. Damn, I can't even remember the one that I'm thinking of. Man, my iTunes library is like, it's insane, you know. And then like he'll be talking. Me and him connect so much on music. We'll just be talking about old school shit. It's like,
geeks,
man,
man.
I forgot all about that. And then I'll
We'll
have
be here
to
for
throw
5
it out.
hours.
Well, I got less than a minute, you guys. Unless you want more time, but
that's up to you, man. You know, really the only thing we haven't spoken about is our upcoming shows. We have one October 21st at the Brass Mug, one November 10th at the Brass Mug at the Florida Extreme Metal Fest. And come check us out, you know.
that's really cool. That's going to be
Something in September. We haven't had the details yet, but once it's, you know, there, we'll announce it, but it's on the works.
Well, I was going to ask you guys, do you happen to have a guitar nearby that you'd like to show off?
I got one here. I mean, I got a lot.
I got mine in my truck.
But this is my Swamp Tooth guitar. I have another one. I'll get to. Let me make sure I don't spill my beer. This is a Epiphone version, Gibson
They're badass.
SG standard, heavily customized, Kluson lock and tuners. I put a Tusk nut on there. I originally had a bone nut, but there's inconsistencies in the density and the one string cut a little too deep and it started binding. So I put the Tusk on there. Highly recommend. I kept the neck pickup stock. This is one of them Inico, whatever. I threw in a chrome super distortion.
Oh, wow.
Then I threw,
That's cool.
this is like, look, an SG with fine tuners.
It's like a Floyd Rose, but it's not.
Wow.
SGs are horrible for tuning stability
Yeah.
because like they're so thin. Look at the angle of the strings. The body actually is like V-shaped. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, very slightly.
But this thing is so light and thin that if I just go like that, the tuning wavers. So it's like, wow, the tuning instability is serious.
Tony Iommi.
But also I put the strap on the horn like Tony Iommi. I had to get a special drill to go so I didn't
That's just scary.
snap the horn.
Can be around if he's doing that. It can be around.
I did drill out these to get these tuner pegs in because these are oversized. But this is my Swamp Tooth guitar. Next month cool. I'm getting a Les Paul Prophecy.
Mine's already in a Popka.
The Les Paul Prophecy comes with the lock and tuners already. It comes with a Tusk nut, and it comes with Fishman active pickups, which Rob Barrett from Cannibal Corpse was one night swearing to me is like the shit. Yeah. So I'm gonna fucking dip my toes in that Fishman fluid pickup awesome. Category.
They're good.
Because
pickups.
2 of our new songs are actually drop A.
Yeah.
So I need a secondary guitar. I've always been a Floyd Rose player. So this was actually one of the first tunematic bridges I've had since like 1990. So it was an adjustment, but
yeah.
Because we're playing so low, I didn't want to use one of my other guitars, which are already have pro setups, and then you're messing with intonation and all that shit.
Yeah. I
It's
was
just
going to tell you this section is the section that I call "Show Me Your Axe."
Oh man, I should have brought my guitars, at least two. I mean, I got one, but I'm gonna go to the truck. But I'm using Swamp Tooth. Just I got an Epiphone Sack Wild one, so we got two Epiphones.
Hey,
Yeah.
look at that.
my Dean ML Select. Also, all my guitars are heavily customized.
You know, I was just about to say, is that Dean ML?
Yes, Select.
Yeah.
With the satin neck.
Dude, that is sick looking. I got two guitars of my own.
Talk about gear. I'm your fucking guy.
Yeah, I use it with myself personally. I use a BC Rich Warlock. You know, the Kerry King Warlock. I also got
I love BC Riches. Yeah.
I also got an Ibanez GRG 7221, which is a 7-string. And then I got my Ibanez RG8, which is an 8-string. The 8-string is a little complicated, but at the same time, it just adds a little extra sound to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have a 7-string, but the fretboard's so flat like a classical guitar, it's very hard to play. But this also heavily upgraded. It came with them zebra pickups, which I'm not a fan of. So I got the exact same pickup, solid black, and it came with the Floyd Rose 1000, which is, I know a lot of people like them, but they're not stable. Put the original in here, and this guitar is awesome. I wouldn't mind playing one of these in Swamp Tooth one day, you know, but like I said, you know, I got multiple tunings in all my guitars. This is tuned to D standard, which doesn't work for us. We're in B standard for the majority.
Yeah, we play with a lot of humidity.
That's funny. I play in D standard myself, but I also play in drop C.
Yeah. This right here is drop C. My wife got me this guitar. It was a $200 guitar. And I was talking to Bob Sheik's guitar repair at Tampa Bay. He used to work at Dean. All the dudes at guitar repair at Tampa Bay are old Dean employees.
Oh, wow.
So this was like a $200 guitar, and it came with like one of them junky drop down only tremolos.
You don't see these
so
anymore.
Actually, this is like $2,000 invested in this guitar. I had them routed out extra heavy because I got the big block, the brass big block in there. So I wanted to be able to pull up. He said, "How far?" I said, "Until I break strings. I want to be able to pull up until I break strings." So he routed this out so deep, like. So this has the Schaller Floyd Rose, the German one, EMG 8185s. I had him put stainless steel frets on here. That cost $440 just for the frets. And that's when he said to me, he said, "Why are you doing all this to such a cheap guitar?" And I was like, my wife gave it to me. It was sentimental value. And when it came back and he played it, he was like, "Now I see why you're doing it." He said, "Sometimes you just luck up, man. You got one of the good ones." I'm like, "I know, it plays like a Gibson." You know, and he was like, "You lucked up, man."
You know, I started with the Gibson. I started with the Gibson Custom Shop Edition, but before that was a Harmony. You know,
I started with the Harmony. I started with the Harmony acoustic from Service Merchandise.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about, dude.
$1 guitar. I was playing speed metal on this shit in 1990, and I snapped the bridge right off of it.
Wow, Service Merchandise. That brings back. Wow, dude, that brings back some old times because that's how I got my Gibson Custom Shop Edition guitar.
Yeah, okay.
You're making the hair on my head stand up over here like I stuck my finger in light socket or something. Look at you go.
Yo, after that, I got this. It was like a Bigsby knockoff, like a hollow body. Like I had no clue what to get. You know, I thought it looked like a Les Paul. You know, but it's this big, oversized Buddy Holly looking guitar. So hard to play. It was ridiculous. The action was severely high. Like I had no clue, but I mean, it probably did some damage, you know. But I'm grateful that I learned to play on these ridiculously uncomfortable guitars because I seen all my peers coming up the same age group, and it took them 5 years to get to where I was in 1 year. You know, just because finger strength is what I'm referring to. Just because these guitars are so ridiculously uncomfortable, like you had to really focus on not fucking up. You know what I mean? And it benefited me later when I got like actual electrics with like light action and shit. Like, whoa, I could like glide on this shit.
You know, it's kind of funny that you bring up the word uncomfortable. Hey, speaking of down, You guys remember that band called Toto that did that song called Africa?
Yeah, of course, classic.
Okay, Weezer and Weird Al did a cover of it, but when you watch the original video and you look at that bassist, how can you play bass like this? That looks super uncomfortable. That's why I brought up that.
Nicky Six style.
Derek Boyer from Suffocation didn't get that memo.
Right? Other way down on the stage.
Oh, tell me about it. Boyer's the man, dude. He used to play Decrepit Birth, too.
Yeah, exactly.
But that dude's a fucking beast, man. You see, I've never seen Suffocation live, and I'm sorry, Terence.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Saw them in 7K boat.
Yeah, we're
and he got here in Orlando. I mean Orlando, not here in Tampa. That's with my 2 times. Yeah, what you're saying?
Oh no, me and Brett McCoy from FDMS, we were pounding on the door, you know, and
I wasn't there.
Terence opened up the door. He was like, "Come in." And we're up on the tour bus after what was it? Was that the Death show? Yeah, it was Death, the Death tribute.
Yeah.
And super cool dudes, man. Suffocation, man. I can't say enough good things, man.
Yeah, I love Suffocation. I don't know anybody else that would say that band sucks, because if a person says to me that band sucks, I'm going to look at
them. That they need to die and suffocate.
Well, I would say this to I would say, I'd like to see you get up on stage and see if it's so easy to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not easy to get up in front of a crowd for everybody, you know. Some people have stage fright, some people are, you know,
especially the style of music. I mean, you gotta take care of your throat, and so it's not there. Oh no, you gotta fucking it's hard work.
First time I met Terence, I'm taking a picture with him. This is late night, you know. I mean, keep in mind that the Brass Mug, when the show's over, the party's not.
Woo!
So it's like 3 in the morning, you know.
Shots.
I'm taking a picture with Terence, and as we're taking it, I'm just like talking. I'm like, "Yeah, you're one of my favorite death metal guitarists right now." And he's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." Fucking, and then I keep it moving, you know. I don't want him thinking I'm fanboying him or nothing, you know. But it's like, yo, you've been consistent since the beginning, you know.
Oh,
and then last time we were chilling, you know, I finally got the chance, because I'm a gearhead, you know what I mean? I mean, if I could take this camera around the room, there's just so much shit in here. It looks like a Guitar Center in my bedroom. My wife hates it, you know what I mean? Like right here, there's the Dimebag amp, the Randall RG100 ES that he used, not the actual amp, but the same model. 1986 Randall RG100 ES, the amp he used on Cowboys from Hell and the Great Southern Tranquil. I just have so much rack mount gear here.
In the floor too.
And then the camper on top, you know, for recording. Behind the backdrop, there's it's just insane.
A lot of stuff.
We outgrew this house.
Yeah.
But
that's all right. I'll take your word for it. But I got one final question for you, gentlemen, today, and then I'll let you get on your way so you guys can go to that show tonight. Have fun again, like I've said.
Do we talk a lot?
Sometimes I talk a little too much myself, so it's all good. It's the beer.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, my final question is, do you guys have any final words for Underground Noise Webzine?
Tune in to Underground Noise, because the videos are abundant.
Oh, yeah.
Check us out, possibly September 9th in Cocoa Beach. October 21st, we're playing with Othalon, Boy Dream, Formula, and Withdrawn from Humanity at the Brass Mug. Saturday show. Friday, November 10th, we're playing Florida Extreme Metal Fest, the FDMS show as well. We're playing with The Glorious Death, Blunt Force Trauma, our homeboys Lineage, Mind Virus, and Anxietia. And that's a Friday. That's a 2-day festival. On Saturday, Chris's he's doing a double duty.
3 Knuckles Deep Saturday.
His other band, 3 Knuckles Deep.
My brothers.
So shout out to.
So you imagine me mentioning all that with my accent? Woo! Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you guys thanks for giving me a portion of your time this afternoon. It's been great.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad I could get you guys out there.
And I will make sure when the vinyl comes out, we send you a copy
for sure,
so you can see your name on the thank you list.
Awesome, and, that'd be great.
You know, come on down from Georgia sometime. You know.
Yeah, let's head to Brass Mug and you're gonna have a hangover for sure next day. I know you don't drink, but
It's the aura.
you know.
I was gonna say, if you guys serve kombucha, I'll drink a kombucha. So
There you go. Put a little
Yeah.
vodka
It's like my first concert. My first concert was Ozzy and Motorhead when Zakk Wylde was skinny, and I didn't even smoke anything, and I've never been so high in my life. Just from the clouds. Like maybe sitting in the bleachers was a mistake.
a little secondhand get to you, huh? A little contact. Well, hey guys, thanks once again.
All right.
And everybody keep your horns up for metal.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, man.
You got it.